Hi guys, welcome to our Azure Learning YouTube channel. Literally in this session, we're gonna talk about how we can do the cost management in Azure. So, we're gonna see some things in this, and then before to getting into the cost cutting factor, you guys should know the subscription things, and then that pricing things and all you guys should know. So for that, what I'll do now is I'm just going to open my pricing model. See Azure pricing model. So in that first, pay as you go. Okay, so pay as you go means which is like pay after the usage. See, if I need a server, so after the usage, if you wants to pay something means you can choose this pay as you go, and which is recommended for temporary usage. If you wanted to use that particular resources for long time, which is not recommended because uh, you know a huge amount would comes into your billing. Okay, so that this is not recommended for long term usage. Hmm? And coming to the next one, which is reserved instance. Okay, reserved instance means we are getting some set of resources from Azure. Okay, so Azure what would do is Azure would give the particular resources in less amount. See, let's take an example. Let's go with one comparison with the pay-as-you-go and the reserved instance. See, I'm getting one server from pay-as-you-go and one more server I'm getting from reserved VM. Okay, so I'm having two servers. I'm just going to keep the server for a long time means I can only save cost in this reserved VM. Okay, so if we gonna get resource for long term means we can take reserved VM, which is recommended in that particular model. And then spot VMs. What is that spot VM? See, um, you wanted to test any application, or else you have a, basic requirement. So if that data gonna loss means that's not that won't impact your organization stuff. If you having anything like that means you can go with this spot VM. See, we just getting the resource in a bidding basis. Okay, so this pricing would change literally. The pricing is dynamic according to the Azure regions. Say some regions have less requirements, and then some regions have a huge requirements. So the concept is we just utilizing the unused resources. Okay, so that according to the locations, Azure locations, we can see the pricing variations. Okay, and also if Azure need a server, Azure need a configuration means in that time they would alternate your resource, whichever you use, whichever you get from the Azure means that would gone if Azure need a server means. But that difficulty you won't face in reserved or PSU. Okay, if you're gonna get spot instance means you would get the difficulty. And then Azure free trial. Okay, free trial, they would give 1 month of free trial currently. So they would give 15,000 of credits to you. Okay, so you can utilize it, but in addition to that, they're putting some restrictions like these resources you can use for this much. These resources can use for this much. For example, we cannot add we cannot add three additional volumes in a VM in a free trial subscription, and then we cannot keep five VMs or six VMs in a Azure account. That's also the restriction. Like so many restrictions they are putting, giving. In addition to that, they're giving a credits as well. Okay, so if you could not complete the entire credit, so you have a remaining credit means you can request to the backend support team. They would swap the respective amount to the next month subscription. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the first tip. Before that, according to the location, we can find some billing variations. See, US East, US West, and then Asia specific. See, in these locations, in US West, I'm having two regions. In US East, I'm having two regions. So I'm taking the same hardware from these regions. We can find the price variations. See, if I'm going to take West US, there I'm getting $0.14. If I'm going to take West US 2 means $0.114. Okay, according to the location, pricing would vary. And then cost differences. If we gonna choose on demand means pricing would be high, which is recommended for temporary usage. If we gonna choose reserved instance for long term means we can save up to 40 percentage of costs. And then if we gonna choose spot means we can save up to 80 percentage of billing. That's the advantage here in this part. And then I'm going to show you the first tip, which is choosing the right size for your resource. Okay, we should choose the right size. What is that right size? How I can get it? I'll tell you. See, um, first we need to analyze the performance of your resource. Okay, so the main goal of choosing right sizing is to avoid the over provisioning. For example, buying more capacity than you need, or else under provisioning, like buying too little capacity and then that would impact your performance. So this is the difficulties we facing. Okay, so to avoid the difficulties, here we have some options. I'll tell you one by one. So the first thing is um, monitoring resources. See, in Azure itself we have some services: Azure Monitor and then Azure Advisors. These services would literally helps to track the CPU utilization, memory, disk, and the network usage, and then the overtime. These things and all we can get there. Hmm? And then which would helps us to identify the resource that are underutilized or you know over provisioned, and then which would helps to analyze the peak stage and then average when average usage is happening. These things and all we can get it. So we can analyze the data, and if you wanted to do vertical scaling or horizontal scaling in that particular timings, you can do it. Okay, so yeah, so that's the tip number one. So if we're gonna choose right size, we can save the cost. And then the second tip is enable auto shutdown. Okay, so see, the ultimate goal is if we gonna enable this auto shutdown for an VM, we can save the cost. See, let's take an example to understand this. Um, we have an organization is there. In an organization, so many developers are there. So in that scenario, service delivery manager um, conveyed one thing to the backend developers, which is they can go with the auto shutdown, like that they're telling. So the purpose is uh, the major thing is we can save the cost and then performance should be high. So this is what the two thing here. The main thing here is in that particular scenario, developer won't be available on weekends. So in that time, if we gonna stop those servers, we can save the cost. Okay, that's what they're telling here. And then which is not recommended for production resources, which is only recommended for non-critical resources. There you're gonna do testing, and there you're gonna deploy your application, a small application for your testing purpose. Means you can use this auto shutdown option. Otherwise, for your general purpose, you can if you are doing a general activity in VM, means you can go with this auto shutdown, and it is not recommended in production. Okay, that's the main important thing here. Okay, and then here we can avoid the human error as well. For example, if anybody forgot to stop the instance means, which would leads to high billing. Correct. See, if VMs are unwantedly running means, which would affect our billing, so that we are going with automatic shutdown. So to do a automatic shutdown in Azure console itself, we have an option. So there we can do the schedule. Okay. So that schedule also we can decide here. And then yeah. So and then which is recommended for if you're gonna take trainings or classroom training means, which is fine for your purpose. Yeah, that's it in this auto shutdown. This is going to be the second thing. And also we can enable the auto shutdown via CLI command as well. Okay. So we can set the time there, then that would enable the auto shutdown in our VM. Okay. So this is the tip number two. If you're going to enable auto shutdown, we can save a cost here as well. And then the final tip is use spot VMs for non-critical workloads. Just before we discussed, right? So if you just gonna deploy the basic things and you just gonna test the basic application, in that case you can go with this spot VMs. Okay. So the main thing is organizations unintentionally buying huge resources. Okay, then they're necessary. Okay, so that so many buildings would come. So to avoid the buildings, we are seeing these things. Okay, so in this video I could not you know complete I could not insert so many tips, so that I just added only three tips here. If you guys are needed more tip means, put it in the comment section. I'll try to make a part 2 video for this. Okay, I hope this video helps you. Thanks for watching, team. I'll come up with one new topic. Thank you, everyone. Bye. See you later.